Hey Sparkles, welcome back to another video in The Sims 4. Today I decided to try out Lilsimsie's Simsie Mouse Challenge. So let's go ahead and place the lot. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so let's go ahead and get building. Right, so here we are in build mode. I'm gonna move the house back a little bit. There we go. This is how it's looking. Okay, so this is me, future me, coming from a voiceover. So I decided to do a speed build for the rest of the video, or at least most of the rest of the video, because it did take me a while to do this build. So the idea I sort of had, I really wanted to do a spring build, and I had the sort of idea of like a spring fairy cottage. That was the build I really wanted to do just in general at this time of year. And so I was thinking, because Simsie posted this challenge, I thought I would go ahead and have a go at making this build into that sort of fairy cottage build. So the rule of the challenge is that you're just not allowed to delete any walls that exist in the build currently. So you did see I just added a porch, but I didn't delete anything that was already there. So hopefully that's not breaking any rules. But yeah, I initially went for like a thatched roof for this build, but then I ended up changing it to this like slate tile. Because I was researching like a lot of images, and a lot of them actually had like tiled roofs, so I thought I would try and stick with that sort of tiled theme, I guess. I saw a lot of cute photos of like kind of like rundown foresty cottages, so that was my inspiration. And as you know, like I put this in Brindleton Bay on this very foresty lot, so I really wanted to emulate those vibes. And you can see here I'm just going ahead and like doing the exterior. I was then choosing a few bits of landscaping to add. I didn't go crazy on the landscaping because I felt like the environment was already sort of quite well populated with like forest trees and bits, but I just added a few sort of birch trees, which are the sort of native Brindleton Bay trees, around, and added a few little plants and flowers, which I thought looked really cute. I went for like a pink and white vibe for the exterior, because I was really hoping that like suited I suppose it's like a whimsical vibe, whimsical nature. And I also added in some other windows and things afterwards. But this is what it was looking like at that point. I also added a few planters and bits about. I saw a few planters in some of the inspiration images, and I thought it'd be cute to have some activities for your Sims to do whilst they were on this lot. So I also added a picnic table with a little picnic basket that you'll be able to use if you have cottage living, I think it came with. And you can see I was like rapidly saving as I went along because I do have some problems just in build mode in general. Takes a lot more processing power on my PC. I find, I don't know if anybody else has that sort of struggle, but it generally takes a lot more processing power just in build mode. Like if I ever crash in game, it's usually in build mode, and particularly with when I'm using fences for some reason, and columns and spandrels, like that messes with my gameplay and I have no idea why. But anyway, you can see I was sort of going for a layout with the interior, so I'd moved on to the interior. Don't worry, I do put in windows later, but at the back I wanted to have a little bathroom, and then I sort of had an open bedroom and then an open living room and kitchen area. So here I was trying to decide on the perfect tile for the bathroom. I really wanted a really colourful tile, and so I ended up choosing this one from the Courtyard Oasis kit. I had a little trouble with the corner, but I thought it'd be fine if I had the toilet in that corner. It would cover up the edging a bit. But I also tried to use quite a few bits from A Realm of Magic in this pack, because obviously the fairy whimsical vibes sort of goes from with the witchy nature of things as well. And I think later I actually added a cauldron as well, so I suppose it was more of a witchy spring cottage than a fairy cottage. But I suppose you could think of it as like light academia or like the good witch vibes. That was definitely more what I was going for. But it was quite a simple bathroom. I added in quite a few more bits of clutter than I first thought I would. It was quite a spacious bathroom, and I also added in this really cute wall decoration, which I thought was so witchy, and a little tiny cow plant in a jar. I think that's from Paranormal, but I just love that piece of clutter so much. And you can see I'm adding in more windows and things here. I kind of like to do windows on the front of the house at first, and then later on I'll add windows in the interior, because for things like bathrooms I tend to try and avoid having too many windows or having like a small window. So I think it depends on the interior what windows you have on the exterior sometimes. But I also added these Blooming Rooms sort of vine curtains onto the outside, because I thought that looked really cute and whimsical. And I added a little camping chair on the porch, because I thought it would be really cute for like the sim who lives here to like sit on the porch and just like watch the sunset. And I also added a few bits of clutter just on this little garden table with like a little gnome and some cute plants from the Discover University with little smiles on. I love those plants so much. But here I was trying to choose a little platform trim that didn't clip with the columns. I was like getting so annoyed at it, but then I eventually found one that was like a plain one. I think it was just a base game one. So if you're looking for one that doesn't clip, there is a base game one that is just plain. The vibes that I went for this initially were so different to what it ended up being. I ended up making this bedroom a lot darker in colour. I think I changed up the floor potentially, or at least I changed, like the curtains were really I changed them to being black, and I thought I don't know, I did find that it made it feel a lot cozier, as if it was the nighttime part of the house. I don't know, I thought it was kind of a cute idea for a bedroom. But I also did really want to use lots of thin materials, like over the bed you can see I used like the thin drapery on that bed, and the curtains are a thin material as well, because I felt like that was more whimsical fairy vibes. But I also included a little poof with some shoes for your sim to wear, and also like a little knitting basket. I thought it'd be a cute idea if your sim like sat in bed and knitted as like a hobby, I don't know. And then I also added in this like mirrored divider and a plant, and I added in a few witchy type paintings. I thought it'd be quite cool to have their witchiness as like inspiration when they woke up, and I thought they would use this dresser as sort of like a half dresser, half vanity type thing. Here I was just looking for some like wall decorations to put up the walls, because I thought I quite like the cluttered vibe for like a witchy build or a fairy build. So I was going for a heavy on the clutter in the bedroom, and I also did have a lot of struggles with the chimney, I have to say. The outside was fine. Well, I had to adjust it a couple of times, but I really because I didn't want it to show when you took the roof down. So I managed to get the top of the chimney to work fine, and I also really loved, I wanted to have like a blue and green vibe for the living room. I thought I found this sofa. I think it's a Seasons sofa. And I really liked the colour tone of like the turquoise and the sort of rich blue colours. But you can see here I'm sort of struggling because I really wanted to put a photo on the fireplace, but I'm just not skilled enough to to do it, I'm afraid. So I really couldn't get it to be in the exact place I wanted, and so in the end I just got fed up and I was like, do you know what, I'll just put some clutter on the little shelf and I'll call it a day. Because it just really wasn't sitting where I wanted it to. So you can see I added in a plant and a guitar as well, and this little sort of decorative hanging plants area. I also added in like a little cross stitch and an easel. So this house is full of activities for your sim to do. So if your sim is one who likes hobbies, then they will definitely enjoy that. I also added a curtain to this sort of railing, I guess, the spandrel, and that actually worked out fine. And I also added this detail to the front of the house, which I really liked. I thought it fit the outdoor aesthetic that I was going for. I think I did end up changing the chairs potentially, or adding another chair, but yeah, that's pretty much what's going on with the living room. I added this cute lamp that's sort of made out of a tree branch, which I thought was really cute, and then I ended up putting that Brindleton Bay painting that I really liked on the other wall in the hallway. I also really liked this cute heart mirror. And you can see I was definitely going for trying to keep the cute witchy vibes. And then there's also this hanging from Cottage Living, and then in the Bloomings Rooms kit there were a few cool shelving, and I thought it would be good for the sim who lives here to be interested in gardening. So I thought, what a great way to bring in the outdoors into the interior. Sorry about there's a few pauses because I did take some breaks around this point because it was a really long build. But I also, you can see I added the horse ranch sort of pots and pans accessory to the wall, and added a few little plants in here. I had a few different ideas about how to lay out the kitchen. And so you'll see that in a second. I didn't end up using, I think I ended up using the Realm of Magic counters, and I swapped out this fridge. I feel like I might have changed out the oven as well. Like, I really switched a lot of things around. Oh, I kept the counters, but I also added a corner counter. And then you can see I was trying to fit in this shelf because I knew I really wanted to use it, but I felt like there wasn't much space. I also ended up using this bin over here, and I added in a couple of blinds. I really like these blinds. I think they might even be base game. But yeah, I really like those blinds, especially when you just size them down one. I think it makes them a lot less chunky. And I also thought this hallway area could use a bit of a rejuvenation. Oh, I also found these armchairs from Paranormal, which I thought were better for the lounge, so I put them in there. And then I was looking for some like clutter to go next to the fridge. I thought maybe a gnome would be a fun idea, and then I found the cauldron. I thought, I'll pop that outside, so if you have like a witch in your gameplay, you can use that. I also swapped out the fridge. I think this is a Cottage Living fridge and a Cottage Living oven, I think. I suppose Cottage Living is very normal for a cottage type build, but you can see here I'm also adding a lot of plant clutter around. For this sim, and then I finished up with the blinds. So I think that's pretty much it for the house. So I'm just finished with the house, and I'm gonna name it my Spring Fairy Cottage. and let's change the type to a tiny home residential because it fits in the requirements. It's only 70 tiles, 1 bed, 1 bath, and let's give it some nice traits. I think it would definitely have great soil and homey and maybe natural light. I think that would be a good one, or sunny aspect. Now, I think those are some good traits to have. I don't know, you could always give it some lot challenges, like you could make it off the grid if you wanted to, but I think that's how I'll leave it for now. Oh, I've got this strange thing hovering about. Okay, that's gone now. But anyway, I am just going to pop this onto the gallery. So if you guys want to use this, then feel free to download it. And I did try to not use too many packs, so hopefully if you don't have all the packs, it won't be a disaster for you if you download this. But I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in another one real soon. Bye bye.